All right, everybody. We're here with What's Next. It's Indy Next, the Road Series top split here tonight on P1 with our present, future, past coverage. This is the future. This is Indy Next, live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course in, well, Speedway, Indiana. It's the same Speedway you know and love, but we're going right turns around this 2.43-mile road course here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We got Mike Holler in the shot there, I believe, in his machine. He'll be the number 5 car here tonight. Heading down the front straightaway here at Indianapolis, the wrong direction, traditionally speaking. He'll head down that front straightaway. We've got some staple names across the road to Indy ladder here, out in force yet again here tonight. Both from lower rungs on the ladder and the IndyCar proper. We will make sure to get to everybody here tonight. We'll ride out with... Let's head out there with Ethan M. Brown. I believe this is the first time we're getting Ethan here on the broadcast. He's hailing from the lower rungs on the road to Indy that I recall. Run a good number of USF 2000 races with Ethan here. He'll take to the course for his out lap here in qualifying. Andy Kirkbauer's excited for this to be his first Indy Next Road SOF. He's excited to have you here, Indy, and your number 17 vote of racing entry here in the top split. 2,700 and change was the strength of field here tonight. Solid showing here in the opening couple of hours here in the Indy Next Road Series for week number 7 of its inaugural season. I believe that's Micah Mixer in the chat chiming in that it's going to be interesting a week with this track being the Pro Q qualifying track for next week. I think the same. I think that's why you saw a lot of cars out in force at Portland, as we'll take on the Portland International Raceway this week for Pro Series qualifying. I'm sure a number of drivers may be a bit less accustomed to that track. We're looking to get time there. Indianapolis is a bit more of a popular one, but we'll still see probably a good number of names and faces out in force this week, even if it's from the real world. I've seen Jacob Abel already out on the track here yet tonight in Indy Next Road as we watch Ethan Brown shoot into turn number 1 in his number 14 machine. Taking it nice and easy through these first couple of corners here, navigating the relatively flat road course here at Indianapolis. Heavy curb working towards the back straightaway here. And down into the left-hander at the end of the backstretch here. Big, heavy braking zone. Turn all the way in. Use as much of this track as you can. Get back onto the curb on the right. Back on the curb on the left. Aim for the curb on the right here once more. As much as the car over as you can. Track all the way out. Get the power down. He'll head towards the straightaway, what would normally be the oval 1 and 2. That'll head back into the infield here for a couple more turns in a right into a left. The pit entry pointed out right there will be heading backwards down the oval pit lane. And Ethan will get a bit of a slide there through the final corner there. Jarrett Corey will take to provisional pole with a 1:15.543. We'll watch his second lap around as he's coming off of the opening couple of corners in that number 1 machine. The current USF 2000 points leader as it stands. Looking to put another solid result, backing up his win last week at the Red Bull Ring here in the Indy Next Road Series. Want to mention that if you are looking to support us monetarily, we do these broadcasts on behalf of the community. You can access a GoFundMe link in the description. Shoot us a couple dollars if you have the means and desire to do so, or throw us a super chat here on YouTube. This will be the closing portion of our coverage here on Monday night. You may have come from our IndyCar Open Series coverage at Auto Club, a fairly thrilling race that went pretty much caution-free until the late portions of the race, in which the race unfortunately ended under yellow with Adam Blocker taking the win there. Then we moved on to the Onyx Racing League, Lotus 79's at Motegi, and we're here with Indy Next on the road course, our only twisty track on offer here this Monday night. Nadi Emil provisionally on the pole, but Corey answers back with a 1:15.251. Saw qualifying times as fast as a 14.999 from Corey in the session prior to this. We'll see if anybody can get to that marker yet here tonight, as we've got cars still out on the speedway, if you will, taking time here. So this is a 2.43 mile road course at Indianapolis here, utilizing none of the traditional oval turns that we come to know and love here at the Speedway, as we're aimed towards the back portion of this track here. Heading towards what would be the front stretch, no matter how you slice it here. Aimed back down that iconic front straightaway here in Indianapolis with the pagoda. It's got a couple cars still out taking time. A couple cars still have yet to take a time. We'll get through the last couple minutes of qualifying here, and we'll see where everybody lines up for that very, very treacherous run down into turn number 1 here. IndyCar seems to like a very, very treacherous opening corner to start these races in their rolling starts. I think even a standing start, this track would be quite treacherous to head down into that opening corner here at the Speedway. Still working through qualifying. A couple cars still out on track. We'll ride with Nadi Emil, who's still out logging some laps here. Works his way through the back portion of this track. Runs almost wide there onto the grass. Gets a bit of grass there now. Coming back onto the front straightaway here. He'll opt to hug as close to that pit lane wall as he can. He's going to slow down now. I'm sure he's looking to save his strength, save his power for working into the race here shortly. We've got a minute to go left here in qualifying. A couple cars still out there circulating the Speedway. Likes of Matt Priest and Hayden Lowell, who we'll see take to the field here tonight, amongst others. Only 2 cars yet to take a time. They may not get the opportunity to do so as it stands, as they're not actively out on the track circulating. So they'll start in the 20th and 21st spots of this 21-car field here tonight. iRating spread from 5,231 down to 2,043. So if you're looking to get onto the big screen here on P1, Indy NXT is a good opportunity to kind of come in and hone your craft against some of iRacing's best open-wheel drivers, in my opinion. The likes of Jarrett Corey, not least among them. Kirkwood chiming in saying that Corey is so fast, insane. I agree. There's been plenty of opportunities where I'm saying the exact same thing, like last week, USF 2000 taking on Zandvoort, but we've got ourselves a grid and we're going to run through it now. So, Jarrett Corey will be your man on the pole here tonight at the Indy Road Course with a 1:15.251. Alongside him will be Nadi Emil in the number 12 machine. He'll flip down a 1:15.540. Michael Zuccolo will be third, with Kelly Poynor in the 4th spot. Jason Stu, one we've seen a number of appearances so far this season in Indy NXT, he'll roll off in the 5th spot. 6th will be Jamison Russell. 7th will be Gerard Wakefield, I believe an IndyCar community member, making their appearance here tonight in the Indy NXT Series. Ethan M. Brown will roll off 8th in the 14 car. Jeremy M.D. McRory making another appearance here on Indy NXT coverage here on P1. He'll roll off 9th with Gabriel Borghi in the 10th spot. Prodigy Indy Kirkwood will roll off 11th in the number 17 alongside Scott Merchant in the 18 car in 12th. Rogue Racing's Ty Keela and his Lucky Charms car will roll off 13th alongside Mike Holler, former Indy Pro 2000 community manager. He'll roll off 14th. Ethan Harris will be 15th with Art Karts making another appearance here on the top split in the 16th spot. Hayden Wall will roll off 17th alongside Rico Chalamion. Matt Priest will roll off 19th. Will Metcalf will be 20th. And Raul Pelicero will be 21st on the 21 car field here tonight. And we will roll back through the front of the grid with that fast machine of Jarrett Corey. He's ready to go. He'll roll off pace car up ahead. Yeah, it looked like race pace here tonight was going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of a low 15, maybe a high 14 early on, and then you'll kind of settle in back towards that 115 bracket. We'll see who gets to push the pace the hardest amongst our competitors here tonight. 16 laps on tap here tonight. It's going to put us roughly at that 20 to 25 minute mark for the race here tonight. Lap times in that 115 bracket, give or take. So they're aiming, I believe, for a 20-minute race here in the Indy NXT Road Series. As they work through the infield here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Cannot be understated of the impact this track has, no matter what direction they're going, to drivers wanting to give it their all and take victory here, crossing over that famed yard of bricks. Drivers will head down the back straightaway here. Work their way towards that left-hander, the very heavy braking zone at the end of the back straightaway here. I believe that is turn number 7 on the speedway, or on the course. Work our way through the rest of the infield here. Work our way back towards what would be the straightaway connecting oval turn 1 and 2 very shortly here. We're back to that short shoot straightaway between the ovals turn 1 and 2 here. Cars warming those Firestone tires up. Weaving back and forth, getting ready to take the green flag here shortly as cars will begin to round the last couple of corners here on the road course. None of the oval turns are used in the modern configuration of the Indianapolis road course. Of course, one of the last instances would have been the 2006 United States Grand Prix, and I think just about everybody remembers how that race went. 05 or 06, I can't quite remember at this point. We're getting on to the front straightaway here. Field in control of Jarrett Corey. When does he go? He goes now. Green flag is out. And we're under green here in Indy NXT at Indianapolis. We'll see who makes a move coming into turn number 1 here. Wider shot. We got cars around already. Who's involved there? I'm not sure we've been able to catch who exactly was in that wreck, but we'll try to catch them shortly. Corey leads over Emil. They've broken away. We're going to try to see if we can find, I believe Jamison Russell was involved in that opening wreck, amongst others. So we'll try to roll back the tape here real quick. Try to figure out what happened to him and others in that opening corner. So this all starts around the 4th or 5th spot. And we've got someone into the back of another car here. Believe that's going to be the number... They've got a custom number on that car. I think it's the 13 machine of Kelly Pointer, yes. And then Russell is involved in there. I think he's the one that makes the initial contact there. And then we've got a number of other cars. Hayden Lowell having to take evasive action. We'll work our way back towards the front of the field now at live speed as we work on to lap number 2. Emmel's in tow still. Over Zicola, who runs third in the number 2 car. Gerard Wakefield's up to 4th. Jeremy M.D. McGrory runs 5th. Ty Keela runs 7th now, just ahead of Indy Kirkenbauer. We've got a battle back for that 6th spot between a number of cars. Brown, Keela, Kirkenbauer. They're all ready to go here. We'll head down into turn number 7 here. Keela on the inside of Kirkenbauer. He'll stay in front. Brown leads this train. We're going to get some gaps on the screen to try to get a better idea of where the rest of the battles are kind of manifesting. This seems to be the biggest one here now. So we'll hop back with Ty Keela and Kirkenbauer. Kirkenbauer is going to look to the outside here, heading into the short chute. Ty's going to have that preferred line on the inside for now, but if Kirkenbauer could hold it tough, which he can't, he would have the momentum into this next corner here. So that turn number 1 caught a couple cars out early here as we see Nadi Emmel with the fastest lap of a 1:15.6. He's caught the back of Jarrett and's made the move for the lead. Believe Corey had just given it to him. We'll see if Corey's able to make the move back on him, heading down the back straightaway here. He's on the attenuator, more or less, of that number 12 machine. Gravel being kicked up by a number of cars here at the front of the field, running a bit wide through that right-hand corner. We'll see if Corey can work his way back towards Emmel now. Corey likely just taking the safe approach of not winding up too side-by-side into that first corner. Very difficult to manage multiple cars next to each other through that opening corner complex. We will hop back to, I believe that is now the battle for the 8th spot, with Kirkenbauer chasing down Jason Satu. Satu's made it by Kirkenbauer for 8th. Hop the curb there for Indy. We'll ride on board with the car just behind Indy here in Rico. Oh, around he goes. Not sure if contact was made between him and Gabriel Borghi. We got a car in the wall. That's the 6th machine of Ian Harris. Harris is around. That's the 2 cars involved there. Mike Holler will make it through unscathed. Wrong place, wrong time for us to catch that. Emmel is starting to pull away from Corey now. We're just about a quarter of the way through the race now. We're going to hop back to somebody here shortly. I think Ty Keela is going to be the closest to a car here now. He'll be chasing down Ethan Brown for the 6th spot. Watch them navigate that turn number 7. Heavy curb usage from Brown in the 6th spot. So we've had a lot of action in these opening laps here and haven't gotten an opportunity to recap the field just yet. We'll wait until the conclusion of lap number 4 here to do that. Wait for Ty Keela and friends to cross the line. Action-packed here at the Indianapolis Roads Course. Nadi Emmel's down to a 1:14.693. Expecting that time to continue to either fall or start to come back around. He leads over Jarrett Corey in the 2nd spot as we watch Ty Keela make an attempt on Ethan Brown into turn number 1 here. Not quite enough. He's going to stay alongside for now. He'll have the preferred line coming into this corner if he can stay there, but he cannot. See if he can get a run down the back straightaway now. Going to try to run through the field, but I don't know if Ty's going to make a move here, so let's try to stay with this. Brown's going to take the defensive line. Keela's going to shoot to the outside. He'll have the preferred line if he can make it through this first corner. Wide for Keela. That's going to put him through the grass. He's going to opt to just send it straight. That'll likely give him a slowdown penalty. We'll see how he opts. He's around. Brown takes avoiding action. In comes the 9 machine, or that's the 9 machinist Satu. He's upside down in the grass. Costly set of mistakes for the Rogue Racing driver. He's likely got damage to that number 3 machine. So we see Raul in that 21 Red Bull machine. He'll make it on through. Keela's going to opt to continue. I'd imagine he's probably served any slowdown penalty he's had at this point. We're going to run through the rest of the field now, as we saw quite the kerfuffle unfold there, as Brown's now down to the 8th spot. Kirkenbauer is up to 6th. We'll run through the field as it stands. So you've got Nadi Emil leading over Jarrett Corey in the 2nd spot. Michael Zakola runs 3rd in that number 2 machine. Gerard Wakefield, he'll run 4th in the number 7. Jeremy MD McRory is having a solid night running in the 5th spot. He started a bit deeper in this field. Shout out to Indy Kirkenbauer making his way through the field in the Votive Racing League entry, running that Miles Rowe paint scheme in the number 17 car. You've got Gabriel Borghi in the number 4 running 7th. That's quite a chrome and red livery for our number 4 car here tonight. Ethan M. Brown is running 8th following that very, very interesting turn of events through the end of the back straightaway last time by. Raul Pellicero runs 9th ahead of Ty Keela in 10th, who we saw take to the grass at the end of the back straightaway here on the previous lap. Matt Priest runs 11th in the number 15 car. I believe that's the Callum Hedge livery that's made the rounds here in Indy NXT. Scott Merchant will run 18th in a Ghost Energy car on that machine. Mike Holler with his iconic livery with the Chicago flag stars on it, amongst others. He runs 13th in the 5 car. Hayden Lall will run 14th in the number 20. Will Metcalf will run 15th in the number 10. Art Karts making another appearance here in the Indy NXT Road Series. He'll run 16th. And Kelly Poynor will be the last car that's still out on the track 1 lap down following very rough contact heading into turn number 1 here on the opening lap. So we will hop back to, I believe, Indy Kirkenbauer, who is chasing down Jeremy MD McRory for the 5th spot. He's about a half second back. He's got Gabriel Borghi in tow behind him. We'll try to get a further away outboard shot to try to capture a bit more of what's going on here. So here we've got Indy running in the 6th spot with Borghi in tow. McRory's a couple seconds up the road, but we're going to stick here for now, as Kirkenbauer almost runs wide there, heading through the right-hander, back into the infield. So here comes Indy down the front straightaway here. We'll ride on board with the car chasing him and Gabriel Borghi. See if Borghi's going to opt to take a look at any point here on this next lap. He runs 7th. Very action-packed race here, as we're now on lap 8 of 16 here tonight. That means we'll be getting over to laps to go here very shortly. I want to thank everybody for tuning us in here tonight for Indy NXT Road from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, hit the bell, all the stuff that can get you more IndyCar action on iRacing. We cover all sorts of open wheel stuff here on the channel throughout the week. And we'll run through our calendar of coverage here shortly as we get to the halfway mark here in tonight's final event on the channel. So speaking of the rest of that continuing coverage throughout the week, tomorrow night is the big show. The IndyCar Oval Fixed Series will take on Rockingham at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. We've got the Indy NXT Oval Series taking on North Wilkesboro at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. And that'll do it for our Tuesday night coverage of open wheel oval action here on iRacing. Wednesday night we'll have the Horizon IndyCar Series round number 11 of their second season at Chicagoland. Mark Murphy will be in the booth at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for that. And then Thursday night, we will have the second split of IndyCar Pro Series qualifying with the Indy NXT car from Portland. That's the 3rd round of 7. I'll be in the booth for that. That'll be my 3rd and final broadcast appearance for the Pro Qualifying Series as we see cars navigating the back half of the Indianapolis road course here. Then Mark Murphy will be live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the first of 2 championship rounds for both AMA Series. Thursday night, the Xfinity Series will take on Phoenix at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Friday night, we will have the AMA Truck Series Championship Friday at Phoenix at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time Friday night. And then Sunday night, Championship Sunday for the Votive Racing League. Their 9th round of their 3rd season will take place here at Indianapolis. That'll take place at 8 p.m. Eastern Time here on the channel. And that'll bring us back to Monday as we see Borghi has caught the back of Kirkenbauer. He's going to look to the inside here. McGrory's now right ahead of these cars, so they're hungry. Bit of a moment for Borghi. We'll see if Kirkenbauer made it through clean. He has. We'll hop back outboard to get a better view of what's going on. Oh! Big moment! Kirkenbauer makes it through in the grass. That's Borghi around. He'll lose a couple of spots as he makes his way into the gravel. And we'll get to laps to go here as we've got 7 laps here in this event. And Nadi Emel has checked out on the field. He is now 2.5 seconds away from Jarrett Corey in the 2nd spot. So we'll see if we can catch ourselves another battle as this is kind of dispersed. We'll hop back to Ty Keeler running in the 10th spot. He's trying to chase down Matt Priest in 9th, about a half second back. This is the closest battle on track as it stands, I believe, except for Borghi and Merchant, which is about a half second as well. We'll see if that develops into something more, but we'll ride here with Ty Keeler. See, chases down Priest for the 9th spot here. The intimidate button in full force from Kirkenbauer. That seemed to be the case. He had a bit of a moment. Very easy to get the cars loaded up a bit too much through that opening section. Very, very heavy amounts on the wheel. You know, you're kind of dabbing the brakes and the throttle, trying to get the car to rotate very, very tightly around this right-hander as we see Ty Keeler and Matt Priest navigating that corner. And then you've got, you know, this chicane here with a very heavy curb on it that you don't want to hit too hard and upset the car that way. 6 laps to go here from Indianapolis. Pellicero has closed in a gap on Ethan M. Brown for the 7th spot. We'll see if he can continue to close that in. He's 4/10ths back, but Ty Keeler is just about the same distance away from Priest in the 9th spot. We've got all the way down to Art Karts running in the 16th spot, still on the lead lap, and then Kelly Poyner in the 17th spot is the last of the cars still out on track. 4 DNFs here tonight. Situ, Chalamion, Russell, and Harris. 21 cars started, 17 out on the track still as we're coming to 5 to go here. Ty Keeler chasing down Matt Priest. We'll watch them enter turn number 1 and cut through the opening complex of corners here, and then we'll try to see if we can hop back further up the field. Actually, we'll stay here as I think Keeler's getting closer now, just a little bit. One thing we'll have to check now here shortly is the push-to-pass left for these cars. So, you know, we see Corey sitting on 41 seconds. Emil has used basically all of his up, but he's far and away, way ahead of the field. We've got Keeler sitting on 54 over Priest with 48 as he nudges closer here in the later stages of this race. Pellicero's on 67. McGrory is on a high for cars inside the top 10, I believe, on 98. He's made the pass on Gerard Wakefield for the 4th spot. That'll move Kirkenbauer up to 5th. Wondering if Wakefield had a bit of a moment heading into that infield section in the final portions of the corners. You know, you've got Metcalf still sitting on 150 seconds. He might not know the buttons there, but he's out here giving it his all. And we will hop back to gaps throughout the field, try to get an idea of if there's any battles still left to be had here on the course here at Indianapolis. Mike Holler has actually caught Ty Keeler. That's perhaps the most pressing thing. Ty's having a bit of a moment there on the exit of the corner. That'll give Mike an opportunity to potentially capitalize down the back straightaway here as Ty, again, bit of a moment heading through that right-hander there. Holler's going to be there heading down the back straightaway. We'll see if he opts to make the move. Wakefield moves back up to the 6th spot. We got cars all over the place here. Holler's going to make slight contact with Priest. Keela is through for 9th. That'll be Borgie back up to 11th over Holler now. Holler under attack from Scott Merchant now. Quite a chain of events into that back straightaway set of corners. Move Ty Keela up to 9th. Priest back to 10th. Borgie's up to 11th after a spin earlier on in this event. We'll move to him as he chases down Matt Priest down the front straightaway. That'll likely be the closest 2 cars on the track. They're going to snake down that long front straightaway here. All 3 cars battling for this 9th spot towards the back portion of the top 10. And that's something we've seen. Oh, Keela, too deep. Locks it up, slides. He'll rejoin in the 13th spot now. Move Borgie up to 9th. He makes the move on Matt Priest on the outside now. Matt Priest will look, but Borgie's going to have the advantage here. Wakefield's back to 7th. We'll move to that battle now as he's chasing down Raul Pellicero for the 6th spot. Two to go here. Emil still leads. Gap's now down to just over 2 seconds over Corey. Likely is a bit higher than that, depending on where on the speedway you catch that gap. Zicola runs 3rd, about 5 seconds back behind Corey. McGrory runs in 4th. Career night for McGrory. I think this is going to be his best finish so far this season in Indy NXT competition. Kirkenbauer proving that he can indeed turn right. He runs in the 5th spot in the number 17 machine. Pellicero runs 6th. Gerard Wakefield runs 7th over Ethan M. Brown in the 8th spot. We'll hop back to him just behind Gerard here. Gabriel Borgie runs 9th. Matt Priest is 10th. Mike Holler 11th. Scott Merchant is chasing down Holler for all it's worth. We'll see if he can make a move down the back straightaway here. Hayden Lull, he runs 13th. Ty Keela runs 14th following a deep lockup into turn number 1 as we watch Merchant try to make the move on the inside here on Holler. Is he going to make that stick? Looks like it. Move Merchant up to the 11th spot. Will Metcalf runs 15th behind Mr. Keela. Art Karts runs 16th, and then Kelly Pointer, following contact early in this race, is 1 lap down. As we've gotten the final lap call, we'll move back to Nadi Emil, give him his due as he heads onto the front straightaway now. Or no, this is into the opening corners. I've lost where I am. He's going to head towards the back straightaway now. Must have been a moment for Corey as that gap has now increased to over 3.5 seconds between himself and Emil. Nadi Emil going to put on a dominating performance here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Following a 2nd place starting spot. He made the pass on Jarrett Corey very early in this running. Put himself in contention to fight to the end here. Pull out a win. He's going to start wiggling now. I'm not sure if that was deliberate or if that was him just trying to hold on to the car there, but he's going to round the final corner, get onto that front straightaway here at Indianapolis. Now he's going to start doing the deliberate wiggles. Nadi Emil going to be your winner from Indianapolis. Jarrett Corey will finish 2nd. Michael Zicola will finish 3rd. Jeremy M.D. McGrory, he's going to round that final corner and finish 4th here tonight. And Raul Pellicero will come off the final corner to finish 5th, making the pass on Indy Kirkenbauer on the final lap. And that will round out the top 5. We'll get through the rest of the finishing order as everybody crosses the line. But we had ourselves quite the race here in Indy NXT from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Maybe it's that good on the oval, too. One can only hope. So we'll ride back with nobody as everybody's finishing out their race here tonight. Kirkwood chiming in, save your push to pass. I blew that top 5. And that's the big thing with next is you've got to be able to manage that push to pass. It's one of the big differentiators between this car and its lower rung counterparts is this has a push to pass like the IndyCar. You got to manage it well, and that can put you into a better position come the finish of the race. So, your finishing order here tonight will be Nadi Emmel taking the win over Jarrett Corey. The gap there being 3.3 seconds at the end of this one. Michael Ziccola will finish third over Jeremy M.D. McRory in the 4th spot. Good to see him get a good result here in Indy NXT competition. Raul Pellicero will finish 5th ahead of Indy Kirkenbauer, making that pass on the final lap over the Prodigy. Gerard Wakefield will finish 7th in the 7th car. That's a good night for Gerard. Ethan M. Brown will finish 8th in the 14 machine. Solid run for him. Matt Priest will finish 9th in number 15 with Gable Borghi making a solid charge back through the field following a mistake early on to finish in the 10th spot. Scott Merchant will finish 11th ahead of Mike Holler, the Indy Pro 2000 former community manager, will finish 12th here. Ty Keela will finish 13th in his road racing entry. 14th will be Hayden Law. Will Metcalf will finish 15th. Art Karts will be the last car on the lead lap in 16th. And Kelly Pointer, following contact early in this race, will finish 1 lap down in the 17th spot. Jason Satu, Rico Chalamion, Jamison Russell, and Ian Harris all out with some sort of damage here tonight. And that will round out our 21-car field here in the top split for Indy NXT at Indianapolis. See if we can get any interviews tonight. Give people a couple minutes to get on up in here if they so choose. We will get the 3rd place finisher's car up screen of Michael Ziccola. See if we can find him on the speedway somewhere. There he is. The number 2 machine of Ziccola. Started 3rd, ran 3rd, high-low of 3rd. He kept it in the right place at the right time throughout this race. That is Ziccola. We've got Ziccola. Look at that. We'll bring on Michael. Michael Ziccola, Jacob Collins, P1 Broadcasting. You got me?
Yeah.
Well, you started 3rd and finished there. Trying to talk us through managing through this race. It was quite chaotic, that opening lap, and we saw throughout the field the struggle to just keep the car on the track the whole way through. Seemed like you were on a bit of an island by yourself, so that might have been a bit easier, but talk us through it.
Yeah, that was chaotic. Turn 1, I saw Kelly crash in the left on my car. So that was really tough. I'm happy to not be involved. And yeah, the two guys ahead was really quick, and I really cannot catch them. So I just try to find a good pace and keep my 3rd position. Actually, it's really good. Even if the tire was really struggled during the race, during the middle of the race, but yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned a bit of tire wear there. Did you feel like that there was maybe opportunities to make adjustments to the in-car tools or how you were driving to kind of manage that tire wear? Because that is something that is a bit of a factor, particularly we've seen on the ovals, is that tire wear plays a huge factor in these cars and seemed to rear its head here tonight.
Yeah, tire was a huge factor. I need to learn about this because I had lack of experience with this tire management. But yeah, actually, this race give me some good things. And yeah, need to progress on these titles.
Well, you certainly put on a solid performance here tonight, nonetheless. So if you've got any friends, family, sponsors, anybody you want to shout out, podium finish, floor is yours.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't understand because I'm not really I'm French guy, so my English is not really perfect. So sorry for that. But just I want to say thank you for the broadcast, and yeah, I'm happy to finish third.
Well, thank you, Michael, for turning out, and we'll catch you hopefully in another race throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you, and sorry for my English.
It's all good. We love having all of the people from around the world in here, and we're good to have you out here in Indy NXT.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it.
That's Michael Zakola finishing third here tonight. It's probably Mikhail, I would assume, perhaps. We'll bring on Jarrett Corey here momentarily once I get his car on the screen. Get Jarrett. We're gonna have to find Jarrett. Jarrett, where's your car? There's your car. Can we get it where it's moving? There, it's moving now. Give him at least a run down the straightaway here for his second place interview here tonight. Jarrett Corey, Jacob Collins, P-Rob Broadcasting. You got me?
Yep.
Well, not quite the finish I'm sure you were hoping for after starting on the pole here tonight, but you follow up your win last week at the Red Bull Ring with a second place finish here tonight at Indianapolis. Kind of talk us through working through this race. We saw a lot of trouble throughout the field in terms of keeping the cars on the track. Seemed to be a difficulty for just about everybody.
Yeah, this car seems to like to eat the rear tires here, so there's a lot of management of that. And at the start, I was just trying to do whatever I could to keep the lead, and yeah, I couldn't quite do that. The Naughty, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, he just had it hooked up here, and after he got past me, I was just gonna try to push the pass, but ultimately I just couldn't close in.
Yeah, it seemed like a good number of drivers were talking about, tire wear being a factor. You saw a number of cars, especially through some of the opening corners here, get either loose on the brakes or loose on the gas, trying to keep the rear end of the car underneath of them. Do you feel like there was any opportunity to maybe adjust your driving or the in-car tools to maybe compensate for that a little bit, or were you kind of just hoping that you could keep the car pointed the right direction throughout this race?
Yeah, as the laps went on, I started to move. I moved the brake bias back one click from where I started, and actually, I was running the brake bias further forward than I normally do. Actually, I mean, I moved it forward. But yeah, it definitely ran a bit more brake bias here than I have in the past. And then over the race, I sort of was backing out my braking because it definitely seems to want to get loose on entry, which actually I'm not quite used to in this car. It's normally been on throttle, but here it's been on entry, so that made it a bit challenging, especially in the final chicane, that second part, that left-hander. I was really struggling there, and I felt like I was losing a lot of time to the leader.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too unlike the other Road to Indy cars and the Indy Pro and the USF here, is that you tend to find it works inverse to how it does at a lot of tracks where you're losing grip on entry rather than the exits. But it's good to see that that's kind of translated up the rung, if you will, here in Indy NXT, and we'll see how that continues to progress as we get to more tracks that have shared experiences throughout IndyCar's ladder system. So if you've got any friends, family, sponsors you want to shout out here tonight, Jarrett, floor is yours.
No, just P1 Broadcasting putting this on, and yourself. It's great. It didn't seem like there was a big jump in participation this week between Red Bull Rings, so hopefully that's not a bad sign, but you never know. So it's great that you're putting this on.
Week is young. We still got time to go. I'd imagine, especially with Pro Series qualifying here, I believe next week, people are going to want to at least get somewhat of an idea of how this car races here. So we'll see as the week progresses. But good to have you up here on the podium again here, Jarrett. You keep going fast and having fun, and we'll catch you out here again later on in the season.
Yep, see ya.
That's your second place finisher here tonight. I don't believe we're going to get Mr. Emmel here, but he will be your winner after starting second. He dominated after leading I believe, all but maybe one lap, if that, here tonight. So we watch him ride on into the sunset in his number 12 machine. Want to thank everybody for tuning us in here for Indy NXT Road from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for round number 7 of 12 in the inaugural Indy NXT Road Series. And to all those around the world that do the difficult jobs, that let us do all the fun we do here in the sim and otherwise, we thank you. Have a good night, everybody. We'll catch you next time.